to mind is Benny Brown.
Right.
It's another one of my favorites. Another one that, as far as I'm concerned, is lyrically, I don't know, brilliant. It's just such a piece of poetry. I'm a poet. I've said that, so I'm not a musician, but I love lyrically.
Poetry and song lyrics are almost so close to being the same thing that they are. You know.
Yeah, and if I talk to some musicians, they'll say, "Oh, just writing poetry, that's really hard, but I could do the song lyrics." And I'd be like, "Yeah, but I couldn't do that. I could do it without the music because I don't have the music."
Yeah.
So it's very much, they're very related. But
yeah, I mean, some songwriters write all lyrics first and then put the music to it after. Now, when I write usually all comes together as a team. The lyrics and the music, it all kind of rolls out together, and then you kind of the music kind of guides you. Your tune kind of guides the lyrics, and once you get going, but I find it all comes together, you know.
Yeah, I think that those are the songs that appeal to me when they have both, like they have the musical hook and the musical piece, and then the lyrics also. And I'm like, oh yeah, now they've got the whole.
I kind of understand what the guys are saying though. Writing lyrics is hard because once you get the tune kind of informs your cadence and your, the way the lyrics roll out. So if you're just writing, I mean, without the music, you'd have to get used to it if you're used to writing with music, you know.
Yeah, but there's always in poetry. There's always rhythm.
Yeah, that's right.
Without
it's
the melody
there.
or the actual what you can hear, it really does. I wrote a paragraph. Let's talk about me for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wrote a paragraph. I wrote a story or a book, or I think it was a chapter, and I had someone reading it for me. And they came back and they were kind of like laughing a little bit. And they said, "Do you realize that this paragraph is actually in rhyme?"
Right.
And because I was doing drafting, and then of course I didn't pick up my own stuff. I didn't read it out loud, which apparently they did.
Right.
And the thing actually had, I was doing the iambic pentameter rhyme, and it was like totally subconscious. I had no idea, and they just thought it was hilarious because I had written rhyming poetry for so long. It is just something I do, and I was
inherent to the way you.
I was in the mode, and I was going along. It was a little bit of a poetic, descriptive piece, and they're like, "Okay, could you please take out the rhymes? We don't need that."
I know.
Serious.
I know.
Serious literature.
When I put out the CD and the book there a couple of years ago with the war-related songs. Somebody said to me, it's the first time I really sat down because he was reading the book. Of course, I got lyrics included in the book as well. That's, all lyrics from the songs on the CD are in the book as well. And he's reading the stories, and then in between he was reading the song lyrics. And he said, it's the first time I really sat down and just read your lyrics. And they read like poetry.
Right, they do.
Because that's what it is.
They really do.
That's kind of what it is.
And sometimes music helps things rhyme. So they sound like they rhyme even if they don't quite.
Yeah, near rhymes we call it. Near rhymes.
Near rhymes. Yeah. And
some people call that cheating.
I think that's actually harder in some ways. But then, some people go for the easy rhyme, and then I'm like, no, go for the hard one.
Too obvious.
Rhyme with orange, not with cat.
That's right. Yeah, there's definitely more to it than rhyming crazy with baby, There's more to it than that.
Yeah. And you find young, new, fresh songwriters will go for the easy rhyme because it's easy. But as they come along...
Yeah, that's right.
They develop.
Challenge yourselves a bit more.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with rhyme crazy with baby.
No.
I've probably done it myself somewhere like that.
Yeah, and crazy with baby works in depends on the song.
Maybe is another one. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
It just works.
Yeah, it does. So, and a lot of the early rock and roll definitely did a lot of the.
Yes.
Oh
yeah.
Catchy.
Yeah. They weren't talking about politics.
No, and I think that's the thing. Like, Leonard Cohen didn't do that.
That's right.
Maybe he did. I don't know.
Well, early rock and roll was really geared towards teenagers, so they were talking like teenagers.
Yeah.
Which is genius.
Yeah, of course.
Except maybe Chuck Berry. He was a little bit cut above. He was quite lyrical.
If you listen to some Beatles songs and they're very simple lyrically, and then you listen to some other ones and they're like so deep and it's like, so just because they didn't do it all the time didn't mean they couldn't do it. It just depended on the song.
Oh, for sure. Chuck Berry used to make up words. Put the ginger ale in the coolerator. I just love that.
Creative writing at its best.
Yeah, the coffee colored Cadillac. It's the last time you saw one of them, but you know exactly what he's talking about.
Well, of course, you can picture that exactly.
But not your everyday lyrics.
No. Well, it's clever, and we all know who he is, so it's crack the code.
Work for
him. That's what it's all about. We were talking about this with Kevin Blackmore. It's about cracking the code, about where the balance is between what's palatable for a large segment of, the audience, plus what you want to be doing, and putting that all together in a package where it's entertaining and you get messages out, but you get them out to the people. And
it's like Steve Earle said, if you can say the most profound thing in the world, but if nobody knows what you're talking about, you haven't said anything.
You haven't said anything. In writing, it's about concise language and communicating and telling a story and not using obscure words to try to impress somebody.
That's right.
Leave that for the
I feel like I need to go write a song with Maybe and Baby Rhyming right now.
I know, just now. I'm going to write a poem and a book. I'm going to write a book called Maybe Baby.
Write it tonight.
It would sell if it was good enough.
It's all good. There's a place for it all.
So the stories are in the songs, but when you're performing, you quite often tell stories about the song.
There's always a story
behind the song, which I enjoy that in when I attend performances. I love the music, but I do like a little bit of that engagement.
Yeah, I usually do preambles and usually give you the background, where the song came from or what was the inspiration, without getting too, you try to entertain when you're telling the story as well. So it's really, I'm a storyteller. I'm a storyteller in a song and storyteller about this. The whole show is kind of about that.
Right.
And people tend to like it. I've heard over the years. I've heard that a lot. I really enjoy the stories too. Love your songs, but I love the stories as well.
Now, Bonnie, maybe you can help me with this. You played a couple of songs there. What was the event that we were at? And Terry played just recently.
Oh, the Gideon's Helping Hands. You played
the auction.
At the auction. Which thank you for doing that.
Yeah, that was a Christmas show, though.
Yeah.
Christmas.
So, but the reason I mentioned that is because you played, but other performers played, and there were a lot of young performers in the audience, and then you ended the program, I think.
One of the sets, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And when you played and did your 2-3 songs, it wasn't very much, and you talked and stuff, I was sitting there thinking, okay, it's like a master class in performance for all these young artists who are just starting out. A lot of, I don't know who was there, but I mean, there were some younger artists who were just, starting. They got to get maybe they've got their singing chops, and maybe they got their writing going, but maybe now they got to get their on-stage stagecraft under way. And when you were performing, I thought, this is something that just doesn't happen automatically, because you had them, you started and you had the entire audience was completely engaged. There was nobody looking at a cell phone. There was nobody looking anywhere else. They were just totally into what you were doing. And that's a whole other thing. Was that just taught? Did you just learn that by doing it? Did you grow up just being the stagecraft, or how does that go?
I wouldn't say. Probably always a bit of a clown, but that stagecraft, and you got a woodshed to make that happen. Oh, I did anyways. Some people can, and a lot of that, what happens is once you prepare yourself for a show, I like to have I got like a map.
Right.
And if you know what your show is going to be, what's going to happen, your moments, other moments tend to happen off the cuff as well, right? You got people who are, interacting with you, and it leads to other moments, you know what I mean? So it's all about those little moments. I mean, the Christmas show you're talking about that we did, I actually did, those 2 songs I did were actually Elvis Presley songs.
Right.
But there's always something to lead in if you give it some thought, I know I told a story about, growing up, my mother seeing Elvis on TV, and there was a whole story about that, and but there's always something to, if you think about it and if you work it, you can make something more than just getting up and playing 4 minutes of music. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's kind of what that was. I think I only played 2 songs.
Yeah, and it's Mark, and of course you've had 20 years of practice.
Of course.
Right?
Like I say, it doesn't just happen.
And did you find that you watched other artists and what they were doing and went, oh, they really liked it when somebody, not that you're going to copy, but inspired, I guess,
I guess everything's by osmosis,
Right?
If you watch anybody, you see what they're doing, even if you're not necessarily aware when you go to put your own show together that's what you're drawn from, but there's there's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
So I guess maybe, or I can't think of anything off the top, but storytelling is, to me, I think it's just storytelling.
Right.
To me, is like every song, like you just said, most of my lyrics are story lyrics. All my songs are stories. So stories come from experience, and you tell a story about the story. It just seems like a good fit.
All storytelling, in order for it to be engaging to the reader or the listener or the audience, has a sort of a formula to it. People just get all freaked out when they go, "Oh no, it's really creative," but really there is, you got to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. You've got to have, some cohesiveness to stories. Songs are really compacted. Yeah. I would find that very challenging to put. I write 55,000, 65,000 word books. Yes. And have to tear stuff out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, songs are very, and I know that's one thing that people have said about my stuff over the years. It's very concise, very, like you said, compact, and I try not to waste words. I just try to make every word count when I'm writing, and people have picked up on it over the years. I know that's been brought up several times in different articles and stuff, that everything is very pointed and concise.
Yeah, it amazes me, because you still get that same, oh wow, that was a story. You still get that satisfaction, because we are human beings are hardwired for story.
Absolutely.
If we do it, if your husband's 10 minutes late, you make up a story while he's late in your head.
Yeah, of course.
And I make up really wild tales. Yeah. Like, I don't know where he
that can get out of hand.
Story. Other people might be like, oh, he must have got delayed at the cash, but I'd be like, no, he's off in the ditch somewhere.
You got a book half written.
Yeah, I get a book half written. Or it might just inspire one. Like, maybe he'll come home and everything's fine, and I'll be like, yeah, but I thought he was off the road in the ditch. That'd be a great scene in the book.
Just like you said, we are hardwired for stories. Everything from the Bible to fairy tales to everything in between. And cave walls, before they could even write, they were drawing pictures about this just happened. This mammoth just stepped on my friend.
Yeah.
Or something. And it's all there, but it's just no language. It's just there in pictures, but it's still a story, right?
Right. And that's what we do. And even like if you do marketing courses or any of those courses, they talk about storytelling and marketing. Whereas, you look at some of the best commercials, the Budweiser commercials, the Clydesdale commercials, right? They're little 30-second stories. The little puppy goes off, and then the little puppy comes back with all the Clydesdales. Like, that's a story.
Yeah.
And then they don't even talk about the beer.
Yeah, that's right.
They don't even mention it.
Yeah,
it's a little logo down in the corner.
Yeah.
Budweiser.
You get the beer, like say, through osmosis.
Right.
From the story.
But the story, you remember the story, and so I'm telling you, and I know what that commercial's about, because the story stuck in my brain. I never drank Budweiser in my life.
That's right.
Vile stuff, but...
and like you say, songwriting, songs are very, like you just said, or you only got like you got 100 words. And go to work.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, when you're not wasting words is a big thing. When you only got 3 minutes to tell your story in 4 or 5 stanzas or whatever it is.
Shells is a good example of that one.
Yes, that's another one. Another one that is really lyrically, like, because you use the word shells in different ways.
Right.
But it's not contrived. It's very...
That's right.
I love that song. See, you keep reminding me. That is a really impactful song,
Thank you.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Well, we're going to play a song at the end, right? Yeah. I don't know which one.
Stay tuned and you'll find out.
Lots to choose from at this point.
We're going to play a Terry Penney song. We don't know which one at some point. So, Bonnie, do you have questions for Terry about anything? I'm sort of monopolizing here.
I didn't.
Well, we're going to talk about the show. You said we got a show upcoming.
Yes, on March 15th, right?
Right.
And
they can say it's kind of a, hey, I'm still here. Show.
Yeah.
What can we expect from you for musical tunes?
It's going to be some new stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, a little bit of new stuff, and also some of the old, from my body of work.
So you have been writing and making music in your own way in the past 5 years. They're just not sharing it with us.
Yeah, I've still been writing. You know, so I could do a new record now if I want. I got enough tunes, but I'm still writing away and still doing that side of it, and just haven't been doing a lot of live performance, But that side of it, I've been still active.
Good.
And I'm going to do some co-writing now in the next month or so with a few people, and just to I've not done much of that. I wrote a song with Ron Hines once, and
you did?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah, but that's